What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video, guys. Today I wanted to rank the best guns that work with the Cronus in 2021. As you guys know, sometimes they don't update this pro pack as often as they should, so some of the Cold War weapons might not work as good, and some weapons overall just don't work as well with the Cronus and the pro pack as some others do. That's just the way it is. That is how it goes. But what I'm going to do in this video, guys, I'm going to go over my top 3 ARs. I'm going to kind of do a series on these weapons. So we'll do like first video we're going to throw up is probably like the top 3 ARs to use with the Cronus, and then we'll do like SMGs, LMGs, shotguns, all that good stuff. We'll get y'all covered. All right, so let's get into the video. Alright, boys, so I'm using this obviously with the Call of Duty Propack. Now, of course, I've tried the Cold War pack, I've tried other packs. This is definitely the best pack right now. I'm not talking about scripts, guys. As you can see, I did do a video on the script recently, the Cypher script, which works very, very well. So go try that out if you haven't tried that out yet. But most people are using the Pro Packs just because they're a whole lot easier to set up. There's not a whole lot tweaking that you have to do with the recoil values and things like that. It's very straightforward and easy. So that's why a lot of people still use a Pro Pack. It's very viable, obviously. If you're new to the Cronus, guys, I recommend sticking with a Pro Pack for now, and then once you get more comfortable, once you get more in depth in the Cronus community, then you can kind of move on to some of the scripts and things like that. For now, we're going to be covering this on the Call of Duty Pro Pack, and I'm going to show you which ARs work best with the Cronus. And this is just how it is, guys. I've been trying to work on the Cold War AK-47 video for probably a week now, and there's no great value for it, so I'm kind of waiting to see once this Pro Pack is updated if I can throw a video up on that. And that's why I don't want to just throw up a video and then kind of tell you like, oh, this gun sucks. You know, I want to make sure I wait and get all the right information. So that's why it might take a couple days to get the right video out when a new gun's released or something like that. But there's not always going to be a perfect setting, and that's why some of you guys might be using some Cold War weapons that are not going to work perfectly with the Call of Duty Pro Pack. And that's just the way it is for now. Now, they will update it in the future, so don't worry if your gun is not working properly or not the right way. Don't sweat it, guys. Eventually they will update it and it will work, and then we'll be able to move on from there. But that's why you'll see on a lot of my videos I'm still using some of the Modern Warfare weapons. Alright, so let's get into it, guys. Of course, if you're new to these Pro Packs, make sure you set all these to your in-game settings when you first go into it. Default layout is what I play on. Now, I will mention one thing. I did change to dynamic in the game for my curve type here in the past week just to try it out. I'm trying to get used to it. I do still leave it on standard, though. I will say, even if you play on linear or dynamic, I would still leave the curve type on standard. For some reason, I just found it still works better when you leave that on standard. But to each their own. You know, if you want to try dynamic within the Pro Pack as well, because, you know, you're supposed to match all these to your in-game settings, go ahead and try that. But the main thing is, guys, the sensitivity matches, the dead zone matches, and then the button layout, obviously, you want that to match. All right, so make sure you guys do all that. I know a lot of people are getting the error message recently. I'm going to try to email Collective Minds and see what's going on with that when you guys are trying to save the Pro Packs. I've never personally seen that before, but I will say I've had to reset my Cronus a few times. So if you're ever having an error that keeps happening, it might be like a bad kernel or data or something, like, or, you know, in the Cronus itself, like the slot. Could be corrupted, so you might need to do a factory reset, guys. And to do that, all you have to do is hit device and then hit erase memory slots. Now, you will have to set up all your Pro Packs and scripts and things like that, or if that doesn't work, try factory reset. I've done that a few times just to kind of give it a fresh update and just to make sure everything's working properly, because I'll be honest, sometimes you overload it with too many game packs and Pro Packs, it seems like it just doesn't work as well. Anyway, guys, back into the gun video that we're trying to do. I don't know, we're getting off topic here. We'll save these issues and things like that, bugs, mistakes that you may use with the Cronus. I'm gonna throw another video up on that. Now, of course, I only use slide cancel. If you want to use hair triggers, turbo melee, I definitely would use that, but do not use shake reload unless you want to be in the middle of a gunfight and then your gun won't reload. So yeah, definitely leave that off. And you can use a combination. You can find those right here, guys, so that way you can leave, you know, if you're going to use all three, you know, just do this one right here. Everybody has a different opinion on how, if they like the Cronus aim assist or if they don't. If you like the aim assist, I recommend cranking it up to a 15 to 20, anywhere between that range. Now, if you really want that snappier aim, if you want that better tracking, things like that, crank this up to at least a 15. And then, of course, you can always go back down if it shakes too much, or even started at 20. You've seen probably like my best aimbot like videos. You've probably seen those guys, and those are usually around a 20 value. All right, make sure weapon swap PS4 solid light bar is on, guys. That way you can see green LED for primary, red for secondary. Alright guys, so for the #1 gun that I recommend with the Cronus, and you've probably already seen it, you've probably already seen me use it a million times, is definitely the Kilo. For some reason, the aim assist with this gun is just incredible. The anti-recoil, of course, the gun has pretty much, you know, non-existent recoil already, so it's even tighter. Now it does still pull up, obviously. If you're not going to use the Cronus after holding it down, it's going to pull up to the right, but with the Cronus you're going to get absolutely zero recoil. So my #1 gun is the Kilo, guys. As you can see in a lot of my videos, guys, I smash it with the Kilo. I don't know, and I just love the gun personally. It's always been one of my favorites since switching from the Growl back in the day. So that is my #1 recommendation. If you want to get, you know, the best value out of your Cronus with the Propack, definitely go with the Kilo. And of course, recoil value for me is around 104. Now I do play on 100 FOV, 7.7 sensitivity, 0.06 dead zone. So moving on to #2, and I'm gonna show you, I guess I'll throw up some clips if I have them, you know, with some of these weapons at the end. We'll leave you with some clips and stuff like that. So of course I usually pair the Kilo with the Mag 10. We're gonna do a separate SMG video, so don't worry about that. We'll do like the top 3 SMGs, and then we'll do LMGs and shotguns and all that. So #2 is the AMAX. Now some could argue that the AMAX is better than the Kilo. It definitely is. Pre-nerf, I don't know right now. Now of course you'll still get the best anti-recoil, the patterns. I still think it does a little bit more damage, but they did nerf it a little bit recently, so that's why I haven't used the AMAX. It used to be my absolute favorite gun before the Kilo. I've started, you know, switching back to the Kilo recently. For the Cronus, you got 1A is Kilo, 1B is AMAX. These two guns are going to shred whoever you're shooting at. You're not going to get any recoil, and for some reason the aim assist is just very, very reliable, and that's just some weird kink about the Cronus. I don't know what it is. Some guns just work better than others. That's the whole point of this video, guys, so keep that in mind. And for #3, my third best AR in Warzone with the Cronus is going to be the Ram 7. As you can see in one of my recent videos, it's almost like aimbot. These 3 guns, and I guess it's something to do with the VLK scope. I think those who made the Propack, they've kind of updated it. They must be fans of the VLK scope and the Modern Warfare guns, because those seem to work the best. These are the 3 best ARs. As you can see, my recoil values are a little bit different on each of them. Not much though if you have that VLK scope. It's usually going to be anywhere between like 104 up to like 110. And that's the great thing about the Cronus, guys. You get even better aim assist when you're playing with console. I play with controller on PC, so some settings are going to be a tiny bit different, but not a whole lot if you're on console, so keep that in mind. Usually the recoil values are just a tad bit lower. And of course, you can always change these recoil settings in the game itself. If you do the ADS quick edit, all you got to do is just load up and plunder, shoot at a wall, and then hold down ADS, and then start shooting and hit down on the D-pad, and then you can hit LB and RB1 as it vibrates to adjust it up and down. But obviously, if you have it hooked up to a PC, it's easier to adjust these settings in real time. Check out my mouse and keyboard video, guys. If you haven't seen that yet, you can go check that video out if you want to use mouse and keyboard with a PlayStation or an Xbox, so that gives you even more of an advantage. But that pretty much does it for the 3 best ARs in my opinion that works with the Cronus the best. There are a couple honorable mentions. I will go through those real quick. I haven't set up the recoil values for these yet because I was just too lazy to go dig through all my previous videos, but those are the FFAR. For some reason the FFAR's aim assist with the Cronus snaps like none other. The anti-recoil is still very good as well, but the reason why I didn't rank this in my top 3 is just because with the FFAR, I don't feel like you get the total range that you get with some of these other ARs. I look at the FFAR as more of a close range AR, if not maybe more like an SMG, especially since they nerfed it a little bit, but it's still very viable and it still works really, really well, especially if you're sniping. I would probably recommend the FFAR, but the FFAR is definitely among one of the top 5, so that's why it's in this video. Definitely has an honorable mention on this video, so we'll go with that. Now the other 2 guns I did want to mention, and they're kind of a tie. The next one is the M4A1. This is my first love with Warzone. This is the first gun that I used. This is the gun that, you know, I started Warzone with, and this is probably, you know, more back in the day when Warzone first came out. I think everybody was using this M4A1, so it's always been good with the Cronus. The only thing obviously is the gun is just not as good as some of the other guns, so that's why it's kind of lower on this list, so we'll leave it at that. And then the last gun, I haven't set it up on my custom loadout yet, is gonna be the Krew, as Doc would say, the two-time back-to-back 93-94 blockbuster champion. The Doc would say the Krew or the Growl. It still works very, very well with the Cronus. My build with the Growl didn't have a scope on it, so my recoil values were going to be below 100. Even with the M4A1 there for a while, I was using it without a scope. If you don't have a VLK scope on these guns, like for the Growl or the M4A1, leave it at 100, and then sometimes you have to go to like 98, 97 to 96. Those are going to be the best values for guns without VLK scopes or sniper scopes and things like that. That pretty much does it. That pretty much covers it. I'll leave you with some of the clips from the gameplay. I'm not going to include every weapon just because that would be a lot of digging through my old files. But I'll leave you with some clips of the gameplay, and you might have seen those before. If not, stick around to the end of the video. I would greatly appreciate it. Appreciate all the love and support. We have smashed over 1.2k subs already, guys. In a couple months, we're already been partnered. So, like I said, I can't thank you guys enough. You guys are amazing. But that'll do it for this video. I'll leave you with some clips. We'll see you on the next video, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. All right, peace and love. Peace.
Oh my.
Striker 3-1.
Back up.
Nah, I don't think so.
Mark the target.
Target identified. I think they're outside. Figure out how to get there. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you a monitor, and I'll just take that one.
Mark the target. Frag out.
Broken.
Mark the target. Mark the target. Taking direct fire. Check.
Broken. Nah, I don't think so. He's up there, he is. Good game. Oh, come on, come on. Good game. There's you. Yeah. Weak to get in, but nice. Left in the bush.